Bill Belichick has already cemented his legacy as one of the greatest coaches ever, if not the greatest. Belichick has certainly earned his reputation. With 8 total Super Bowl wins, 6 of those as a head coach, 31 playoff wins, and 302 regular season wins. But the Bill Belichick we once knew seems like a distant memory. A distant memory of a legendary coach who was never satisfied no matter how much he won, and demanded greatness from everyone around him. In a turn that I don't believe anyone would have ever expected 5 years ago, that legendary coach is now becoming the laughingstock of college football. Belichick's NFL coaching career ended in a way that was far from what he wanted. Every aging player or coach dreams of winning one last championship and then walking away in a blaze of glory. But that's definitely not the way Belichick walked away. Belichick in his last 4 years went 29-38, with the final season being a woeful 4-13. It didn't seem as though Belichick wanted to retire, but faced with a scenario that was almost certainly retire or be fired, he decided to save his dignity and end his career. The only problem is, Bill wasn't really ready to hang it up. He wanted to get back in the ring, but nobody was looking to hire him as a head coach anymore. Right when it looked like he was out of options, another door opened, a chance to be the head coach of North Carolina. While coaching at North Carolina might not have been as ideal to him as returning to the NFL would, it still had the ability to return him to his old reputation if he succeeded, and it might make an NFL team regain interest. There aren't many coaches, though, who have found success in both college and pro. Someone like Belichick, who might have already been outdated, and maybe lacked the drive he once had, was a risky hire, but North Carolina felt it was worth the risk. Coaches like Jimmy Johnson, Pete Carroll, and Jim Harbaugh found success at both levels, but some of the all-time great coaches have had much different results. Nick Saban being maybe the greatest college coach of all time, and another great in Urban Meyer, both failed in the NFL. However, Belichick was armed with a plan going into his college coaching debut. He was going to treat his team like an NFL team. The team moniker has been that North Carolina is the 33rd NFL team. With the rise of NIL and players now basically being on contract to play for universities, his strategy made sense. Fast forward to now, after a crushing 48-14 loss, at home no less, and it looks like Belichick might be doomed to fail once again. I don't think we can just assume he can't turn it around, because there is a certain amount of respect that his previous success commands, but that's just it. Belichick is running on previous success alone. Nothing he's done since Tom Brady left has been to the standard that we'd expect from a Hall of Fame coach. It wouldn't be fair to claim that all of his success came from Brady alone, particularly in his earlier years. He won championships when Brady had not yet turned into the player we know him as now. Bill also won 2 championships as a coordinator, which is nothing to scoff at either, but it's still hard to not feel like so much of his success was because of the greatness that Brady achieved. For many years, Tom's biggest critics thought that he was a system QB that needed a coach as good as Belichick to succeed. Fast forward to now, and it can be hard not to feel like it's the other way around to some degree. The Patriots' decline started right after Tom left, and Belichick wasn't able to do anything to turn it around. As I mentioned earlier, he had a losing record in those 4 seasons combined, and his worst season in the last of those 4 years. It would answer most of the remaining Belichick doubters' questions if he could succeed in the NFL or college even just one more time without having Tom Brady on his team. Unfortunately for Belichick, Tom isn't going to walk through that door next week and be North Carolina's starting quarterback. I don't want to overreact to one game, but it feels like North Carolina just about would need someone like Brady to fix or even begin to fix the problems this team has. 3 to 4 wins feels like a very possible result this season, if not likely, after the beating they took at home on week 1. Even if Bill does some of the best coaching he's ever done, it's still hard to bridge the talent gap in college, and from the looks of it, his talent is inferior to other teams, or at least TCU. Unless Belichick manages to make his players improve at a rapid rate, it doesn't seem like much can change. That being said, if Belichick doesn't right the ship quickly, the story of Chapel Bill might come to an abrupt and unsatisfactory end. Bill Belichick will always be one of the greatest coaches ever, but the recent failures are hard to ignore. There's a lot to be said for retiring while still on top. Tom Brady didn't retire at the absolute top, but he was still really good and led a not great Bucs team to the playoffs. Ray Lewis also won it all his last season. season. While it's not absolutely necessary for all-time greats to end on top, it can be damaging to their legacy if they fall too far. Aaron Rodgers has been a perfect example of that in recent years. Fortunately or unfortunately for Bill, it's only week 2 and so much can change in the sport of football from week to week, especially in college. Will Bill Belichick turn North Carolina around and take one step further on an already decorated legacy? Or will he further stain his legacy that has already taken a hit? Thanks for watching to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, I'd really appreciate it if you would leave a like and subscribe. This is a small channel and every contribution helps a lot. Thanks.